Your thoughts lead to your choices lead to your behaviors, and your behaviors lead to an experience of which the end result is an emotion. Now, this thinking feeling loop, that's a loop right there, creates your state of being, which is also known as your personality. Now, you're watching this video right now because there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. You might have a vision of what you want, but you feel trapped in your current reality, unable to make the decisions and take the actions that will move you towards what you want. Now, the first thing really to understand is that the universe does not respond to what you want. The universe responds to who you are being. Now, my name is Mo Salim, and my mission is to elevate human consciousness. Consciousness is awareness, and in this video, I want to bring your awareness to the 3 essential steps on how to improve your personality, because as Dr. Joe Dispenza would say, your personality creates your personal reality. Now, the first step is really to overcome your environment. So understand that every experience that you've had in your life thus far is reflected within the network of nerve cells within your brain, which can collectively be referred to as your memory. So a large part of the physical structure of your brain is literally wired to reflect your personal history, your past, your experiences, aka a reaction to your environment. Now, in neuroscience, there's a rule called Hebb's law, which states that nerve cells that fire together wire together. So in other words, each time, that's a loud motorcycle that is destroying my video, but nerve cells that fire together wire together. And what this means is that each time a particular network of nerve cells becomes activated, then it becomes easier for them to activate in unison again the next time. And the more this takes place, the more your brain wires itself to reflect itself in reaction to the environment. And this literally becomes very difficult because you are neurochemically becoming attached to the conditions in your life. And this becomes difficult because the more your brain is restructuring itself in reaction to the environment, the more attached you will become to your current conditions. And this will, over time, the network of nerve cells will form long-lasting connections. And the more these connections become solidified, the more they will actually send a neurochemical cocktail, which is giving out an electromagnetic signal, which is determining your personality. Okay, so the solution in overcoming your environment, in creating the life that you want, in moving towards your desired destiny, is to, drum roll, there's no drums, but to create a new personality. The only way that you can elevate beyond your current situation, your current circumstances, is to create a new personality. All right, so because to change is to think, behave, and feel greater than your current environment. When you take a look at history's giants, whether we're talking about Alexander the Great, whether we're talking about Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, anyone who has left a dent in the universe, they did not allow their environment dictate the neurochemistry in their brain. Okay, they had a vision of what they wanted to see in this world, and they went ahead and embodied the state of being which would allow them to cause an effect in the environment. Okay, so they were not at the effect of the environment. Their personality was embracing the presence of a new future while living in the current present. Even though the current environment wasn't giving them immediate feedback, they were still able to embody this new state of being which was in alignment with what they wanted. And as a result, like I said, they went from being at the effect of the environment to causing an effect in the environment. Now, neuroscience also shares something known as neuroplasticity, which is something that this motorcycle is distracting me from again, but that's just something you deal with over here. But neuroplasticity is basically your brain's ability to rewire itself according to new experiences. And the gift of being human really is our sixth sense of creative imagination, because they've done so many studies on mental rehearsal whereby the brain can rewire itself according to an objective that you have, and this is independent of your five senses. Okay, for example, when they brought in a bunch of subjects, they had a bunch of them practice the keys on the piano, practice a particular song, they put them under an fMRI scan, and they saw that yes, they have formed these new connections in their brain. Then they brought in a separate group of subjects, and instead of making them physically play the piano, they went ahead and had them creatively imagine themselves playing the piano, and once again, lo and behold, they formed new connections in their brain. All right, so all of this is to say that if you want to create a new personal reality, you have to create a new personality, and you can do that by forming a very clear picture of what you want in your head and emotionally embracing the presence of that future right now, and feeling like that is already in existence. And the more you can raise your vibration to reflect the frequency of what you want, the more the event is likely to unfold according to your want, according to your vision, according to how you feel. Now, I talked about this in a previous video, that your thoughts create an electrical signal and your emotions create a magnetic signal. And if you can embrace the presence of a new future, even though there's no evidence in it in the current environment, then that is when you attract and resonate with what you want, so that it becomes pulled towards you and you're not pushing too much towards it. All right, so the first step really is to embrace the presence of this new desired destiny and feel what it feels like as if it has already happened. Okay, now the second step in improving your personality is to overcome your body. All right, now like I talked about your thought, this thinking feeling loop. All right, so when you are feeling these emotions as a result of an experience that you've had, then your brain is creating a specific amount of neurochemicals and hormones that are determining how you feel. Okay, and then when you're feeling a certain way, then that feeds back into the thoughts, and then those thoughts, you think the way you feel, and then which is driven by making this guy getting kind of confusing. So you feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel, and then this thinking feeling loop literally is driven by your emotions. All right, and when that is the situation, when you cannot think greater than how you feel, that is when you get trapped in your body. Okay, because emotions themselves are addictive. Okay, so for example, you might feel shame or guilt in one situation, and you only need to feel a little bit to actually feel that emotion. But when you want to feel it again, or not want to, but when you do feel it again, then you will actually not feel it as much, because your body becomes sensitized to it. Okay, so for example, you cheat on your diet once. The first time you do it, it might be very, you might feel that emotion a lot. You might feel like you have really broken your word to yourself, and you're feeling down on yourself because it's the first time that you do it. But then when you do it again, you don't feel as bad because you've already done it. And then you do it again, then you don't feel as bad as you did the second time because you've already done it. Because emotions in themselves are addictive, alright? And like you can see, another motorcycle is passing by, which is causing me to lose my train of thought. But where I was going with this is that creating this new personality in order to create a new personal reality is literally going to be like breaking a freaking drug addiction. Okay, because emotions in themselves are addictive, and the more you feel something, the more you need to experience in order to feel the same thing. I don't know if I'm being clear right now, but I want to do this video in one shot. So my point really is that you have to overcome this emotional addiction that you have to the current feelings that you are having right now. Okay, so like we talked about neuroplasticity, about how your brain can literally rewire itself according to an experience that might not be perceivable by your five senses, but it's perceivable by your sixth sense of creative imagination. And there's something known as epigenetics as well. All right, so that is basically, epi means above, and epigenetics is the control of the expression of the gene outside of the cell. So again, just like you can you can rewire your brain cells, you can cause new genes to be expressed. So the genetic blueprint may stay the same, but when you're embracing the possibility of a new future, then you literally activate new genes. There's new proteins being formed, and you're changing the expression of your DNA to the point where it'll be easier for you to align your behaviors with your intentions. Okay, because when the mind and body are out of sync, when you cannot think greater than how you feel, that is when change becomes impossible, because you are making your decisions based on the emotion of the moment rather than what you've seen in your head as what you want, as your desired destiny. All right, so again, I would really encourage you to get clear on what it is that you want and embrace the presence of that future right now. Feel it, and that is when you will resonate with what you want, and what you want will be pulled towards you rather than you trying to struggle and hustle and grind towards it. Okay, I've made other videos about this. I'll link out to it below. But the second one, like I said, is to overcome your body, because emotions are addictive, and in order to create this new personality, you literally have to break this drug addiction that you have to your current state of being. And the third step in improving your personality is to overcome time. Now, again, going back to this thinking feeling loop, when you're feeling a certain way, then you have an emotional reaction to that, and this is known as a mood. All right, so when these hormones are going throughout your body, there's actually a refractory period for them. So when this hormones are in your system within an hour to a couple of days, that is when we say that we are in a mood. Now, past that point, when you are experiencing a particular emotion for an extended period of time, let's say it's a couple of weeks or month, and then it becomes a temperament, which is basically your tendency to express a certain behavior in response to the in response to the emotion that you are currently feeling. Okay, now beyond the point of a couple of weeks and months, when it's just something that is part of you, it becomes a personality trait. All right, so literally your personality trait becomes anchored in an emotion that you experienced in the past, which means that again you are experiencing life as a result of your past experiences. And then once you are emotionally addicted to this feeling that you have, which is anchored again in the past, then it's like breaking a drug addiction, and you have to stop letting these past experiences dictate your current reality. All right, so it goes from a mood to a temperament to a personality trait, whereby you are literally, like I said, anchored in the past. So what's the solution to this? I've done a lot of inner work, and I've seen how many of the experiences that I've had in my past were affecting me to this day. There's rigid patterns which were anchored in as a result of some heightened emotional experiences that I had as a kid that I was unaware of, but they were still in my subconscious. And until I actually went inside, did that inner work, and understood why I felt this way in response to something that happened back in childhood, or something that happened even back, a couple of years ago, could be affecting us today. And that is when I say that you have to overcome time, because when your emotions are anchored in the past, then it's impossible to overcome them and create more than what you are experiencing right now. All right, again, this is going to sound a bit confusing, or it is sounding a bit confusing, and I want to clarify it for you. But what you have to do is let go of these emotional attachments and emotional baggage that you have to the past, right? And letting go is the process of letting that emotion come up, not resisting it, not suppressing it, not escaping it through all the means that are available to us today, and letting it go by letting the energy behind it run out. All right, so if you can experience it and let it stay there, the energy will run out. You let go, you have compassion for yourself, the person who experienced this in the past, this inner child. And as you let go of it, then once you are no longer attached to these traumatic experiences of the past, that is when you can let go of the anxiety of the future as well. Because if you are anchored in the past and you just keep repeating it, and then you're anxious of that repeating, and then that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So letting go of these emotions is a key. And doing this inner work, it's not easy, because there's a lot of stuff that tends to come up, and if you can let go of it, that's when you can actually let go of the rigid patterns that are holding you back from moving towards your desired destiny. All right, so overcoming in your environment, overcoming your body, and overcoming time in order to create the life that you want. All right, so all of this is to say that you have to understand that the external is a reflection of the internal. So many of us get caught in reaction to the external, whereby we are as a result of the environment. But this video is a call for you to begin creating the environment by embodying the state of being that reflects what you want. Okay, and the more you can do this, the more you can shift from this victim paradigm that we have running in society today, where what blame is going on, this I'm here because of that, this and the other thing. But the more you take responsibility for creating your desired future, the more you will reclaim your personal power and move on to create the life that you want. With all that being said, this has been Mo Salim. I recommend you check out the free case study video below. Leave a comment if this has been helpful for you. Subscribe, hit the bell icon. I want to get more videos out to you. I can't promise when. Like, I made commitments in the past where I was like, yeah, I'm going to make videos every day, but somehow or the other, I have been attached to these past situations, which is holding me back from creating the videos that I want. But at this point, I want to stop rambling and salute you because you have watched to the end, and I will see you in the next one.